Hey everyone, have you ever looked at a raw list of workout exercises and just felt completely lost in the numbers? It's just this massive wall of text, rep counts, and exercise names that completely blur together. Well, today we're going to fix that. In this explainer, we're taking the raw transcript of a super popular 30-minute daily morning exercise routine and breaking the whole thing down into a really clear, actionable, and visual daily map. We're going to uncover the hidden architecture behind all that sweat so you can actually understand why this routine works and exactly how to master it. Okay, let's dive into this as our workout whiteboard and deconstruct the routine block by block. We'll start with number 1, the 30-minute daily habit, then number 2, activating the upper body. From there, we'll move into number 3, the high-energy cardio circuit, transition down for number 4, core focus and floor work, uncover the secret of number 5, the second circuit loop, and finally, we'll tackle number 6, the final push to completion. So, starting off with section 1, the 30-minute daily habit. Now, what's really interesting about this is that before we get totally lost in the individual counts and specific movements, this massive, intimidating, raw list of exercises actually forms a perfectly balanced full-body habit. It's intelligently segmented right down the middle into upper body activation, high-energy cardio, mat and core work, and lower body squats. It essentially ensures that over the course of those 30 minutes, literally no muscle group is left behind and no single system gets overworked without a specific purpose. Moving on to section 2, activating the upper body. So how do we actually kick things off to get the blood flowing? What immediately stands out about the very beginning of this routine is the striking consistency. This initial activation phase relies heavily on a rigid 30-rep structure for every single movement. You start with 30 side bends, move directly into 30 arm crossovers, follow that right up with 30 arm circles, and then finish the block with 30 knee drives. There is absolutely no guesswork here. The routine uses this reliable, identical rep count to establish a solid rhythm and get your body completely primed for the heavier work ahead. And honestly, here is where the pacing gets genuinely demanding. You progress directly from side bends to arm crossovers to arm circles to knee drives, and it's only after all of that where the source material finally indicates the very first rest time. Think about that for a second. That is 120 continuous back-to-back movements before you're even allowed to stop and catch your breath. It's a pretty brilliant way to ensure your heart rate elevates quickly right out of the gate. All right, section 3, high-energy cardio circuit. Once that 120-rep warm-up is done and you've taken that brief rest, the routine abruptly shifts gears. We're now transitioning right into the heart rate spiking cardio block, and this is where the momentum really builds. Notice the intelligent progression here. Step 1 hits you with 30 jumping jacks. Then, step 2 immediately escalates the intensity, pushing you to run in place for 40 counts. And finally, step 3 brings in a dynamic compound movement with 20 oblique twist squats. So you're constantly moving across multiple planes of motion, which builds some really serious cardiovascular endurance. Actually, I want to pause for a second and emphasize this specific number, 40. Out of the entire transcript we looked at, this 40 count for running in place is the absolute peak cardiovascular mountain of the workout. And trust me, by count 35, you are definitely going to feel it. It's placed strategically right after those jumping jacks to completely maximize your calorie burn. And this brilliantly illustrates how the routine deliberately varies the intensity and volume of the cardio bursts. You aren't just slogging through the exact same numbers over and over again. You have that massive 40-rep peak for running in place, a really solid 30-rep baseline for jumping jacks, and then a much sharper, lower-volume 12-rep burst for the 4 jumps that show up a bit later in the transcript. This dynamic shifting of volume keeps your body guessing, which totally prevents you from hitting a cardiovascular plateau. Let's transition to section 4, core focus and floor work. Okay, coming down from that huge cardio high, it's time to bring the heart rate down just slightly and shift our focus entirely to precision down on the mat. When we aggregate the core and lower body floor exercises from the source, a very clear pattern emerges. Aside from one brief 15-rep set of diagonal abs, we see a rock-solid, high-volume 20-rep standard for this entire block. You're grinding through 20 reach-throughs, 20 reverse crunches, 20 heel slaps, 20 leg press backs, and 20 side deep squats. It's basically a masterclass in isolated muscular endurance. But there's a really crucial difference here compared to the warm-up phase, and it entirely lies in the rest time callouts. In the raw transcript, a dedicated rest time is inserted between nearly every single isolated 20-rep floor exercise. And you might wonder why. Well, because while the warm-up was all about continuous cardiovascular flow, the floor work is strictly about muscular tension.
The routine provides these frequent structural pauses so your localized muscles, like your abs and your glutes, can recover just enough to maintain absolutely perfect form for the next 20 reps. Let's move to and see how this builds in section 5, the second circuit loop. Right when you think you're going to have to learn a whole new set of moves, the blueprint reveals its masterstroke. When we compare the primary exercises from the first circuit to the second circuit, a brilliant secret is revealed. They are completely identical. The workout is actually an intelligent repeating loop of the exact same sequence. You jump right back into the jumping jacks, right back into that massive 40 count of running in place, and go right back down to the mat for the core work. So the crucial point is that this repetition isn't just a boring design flaw, it's a highly deliberate structural design choice for a 30-minute burn. By utilizing the power of pattern recognition, you don't have to waste any mental energy learning new moves halfway through your workout. You already know the loop. Your brain can effectively switch off, and you can focus entirely on just surviving the physical exertion. And finally, section 6, the final push to completion. You've survived the warm-up, conquered those massive cardio spikes, completely burned out your core, and run through the entire loop twice. Now we arrive at the grand finale. The source transcript details one final standalone movement before the finish line, the step back jack. And just like our warm-up from earlier, it relies on that magic number of 30 reps. It's one final cardio burst intentionally designed to completely drain whatever is left in the tank. It bridges that gap between the intense mat work and the final cooldown, forcing your body to engage the upper and lower body together one last time. And when you hit that 30th rep, the source material delivers this exact, well-earned validation. You have successfully completed all the exercises. Good job. Please share this video workout with people you think should do this workout too. It's such a simple, straightforward celebration of a highly structured, scientifically paced 30 minutes of incredibly hard work. So there you have it. We've taken all those random numbers, the reps, and the rest periods, and turned them into a clear, visual blueprint. You now know exactly when the intensity spikes, why the rests are placed exactly where they are, and how the loops all work together. The mystery is totally gone. The only thing left now is the execution. Are you ready to take this 30-minute blueprint and map it directly into your own daily morning routine tomorrow?